President Joe Biden has announced an extra $1.1 billion of military aid to Ukraine after the country's president called the US to do more to help in its fight against Russia. Volodymyr Zelensky asked for more assistance in an impassioned plea to the US Congress. Mr. Biden heeded the calls, vowing to have the backs of the Ukrainian people and to do anything to put an end to the devastating war. The package will include drones, ammunition and 800 anti-aircraft systems, in addition to $18.7 billion in aid. President Zelensky expressed his gratitude for America's support during his address. He also reiterated calls to implement a no-fly zone over his country, comparing the Russian invasion to the Japanese attack on Pearl Harbor.
It's a breadline massacre. 10 civilians in the northern city of Chernihiv were reportedly gunned down as they stood in line for bread. Disturbing video shows the aftermath of the incident that is evoking the dark days of the Nazi era. A U.S. embassy official said, "Such horrific attacks must stop. We are considering all available options to ensure accountability for any atrocity in Ukraine." There are reports that a theater in Mariupol, where 1,000 people had taken shelter, has been destroyed by Russian missiles. This is how that theater looked just a week ago, packed with families living in squalid conditions in dimly lit rooms. Many of the children were said to have fevers. The residents had written the Russian word for children outside the building to prevent just such a tragedy. It's not known how many have been killed in this latest outrage.
Taiwanese soldiers fire artillery shells at a target representing advancing enemy forces. The democratically self-ruled island is conducting military exercises to prepare for a potential assault by Chinese forces. They follow repeated incursions by Chinese warplanes into the island's air defense zone. Taiwanese leader Tsai Ing-wen, seen here watching Army reservists train last week, says the war in Ukraine proves Taiwan needs to be prepared to resist threats from China. In a sign of increasing tensions between the two countries, reservists have been mobilized for 14 days this year rather than the usual 7.
Now, while much of the world is focusing on events in Ukraine, let's tell you about the violence in Yemen, because it's some of the worst being seen in the long-running war there. This month marks 8 years of conflict, with monitors saying that the past 4 months have seen more than 800 air raids. Both sides in the war have been accused of war crimes, something they deny. However, the UN body investigating offences has been closed after Bahrain, Russia and other countries voted against renewing their mandate.
A deadly earthquake has rattled Japan off the coast of Fukushima, the same area devastated 11 years ago. Today's 7.3 magnitude tremor caused a citywide blackout in Tokyo. plunging millions into darkness. Michael Genovese has the latest.
It's midnight in an 8th-storey office. A massive earthquake off the coast of Fukushima, rocking parts of Japan, sparking a tsunami warning at the Fukushima nuclear plant. The tremors lasting more than 2 minutes. Roads left split as the earth shifted. The quake's epicentre less than 60 k's off Fukushima's coast, not far from the 2011 quake, which killed 18,000 people and caused a nuclear disaster. That was a magnitude 9. This is a 7.3, enough to be felt hundreds of kilometres away in Tokyo.